Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and I would like to welcome you to the other side of midnight. That's right, folks. The human being, the American, the YouTube Ronin. I'm here, I'm hosting a show. Anyone who wishes to back out now would be a good time. No? Good, because I have a panel of special surprise guests backstage. But first, I want to say hello to you fine folks in the chat. She of the smoldering avatar Netters Network. Our man from the future, Sashi. From the UK, Shadow of the Raven. Mark Malnikoff, Kopla. Dad Man Walking. And surprisingly not first this time. FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. All right. My guests have been patiently waiting backstage, so now I'm going to bring them out. We're going full frontal, folks. We're going in once more into the breach. Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Cleary.
Heidi ho!
Something dark side day, whatever. Last call. Do it.
No.
The reason why I know you are all really here, Sin's Corner.
Yeah, that's why I was here. I wanted to
come on.
book her as a guest in a couple weeks.
I'm looking forward to that.
And it's not for me, it's for Arnold.
Host of Films with Friends, a show on which I will be appearing this Friday night at 8. The creator of the 10-word review, Big Al Presents.
Hello. It's Woosha Woosha Wooshy Woo.
Woosha.
Woosha.
Well, yeah.
Woosha Wooshy.
Hey, Corey.
We'll figure it out. Oh, Corey Wilkie's movies and music in the chat. All right. We have a couple of other guests backstage. You know him, you love him, you cannot live without him, but can he live without us? It's Joe's Atmosfere.
What's going on, man?
Can't live without Atmosfere.
I am sitting at my bar tonight, so on my iPad, so I can do cool stuff like this.
Right on. And ladies and gentlemen, a first-time guest to the other side of midnight. The host of Toxic Tuesday, 32 Flavors of Nickweiser.
Hello, what's up, everybody? There's a lot of familiar faces and a whole lot of new ones. Huge. What's up, Steven? I just saw you yesterday on the member stream, and funny how that works out, that we were struggling for months to be on the same stream, and not only did we finally make it happen yesterday, but we were able to make it happen again a damn day later. Our lives are so much better for it. And what's up, Joe? And nice to meet all the other faces, Connie, Big Al, Sin, and Troy Pacelli. Let's have some fun tonight.
It's good to see you, Nick.
Good to see
Always
you,
great to see
Joe.
you.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
I'm I'm in the Alice the Maid position. I like it.
Oh yeah, you are.
Oh yeah.
You're the pivot man? Look out. Oh.
All right. Now, well, I'm going to make everybody happy right away. Now, earlier during Geeky Geezers, Troy and Boomer, and hello, Boomer, if you're still awake and listening, or if he's asleep and he's not listening, in which case,
You should listen on the rerun.
We'll pull like an Inception kind of thing on him, and
oh gosh, yeah.
We're actually filming this show inside Boomer's dreams right now. No,
inside Boomer's head.
Inside Boomer's head. All right. Well, you brought up. Let me see if I can. I saved the. This show is basically just turned into Geeky Geezers 2.0.
We'll say something on Geeky Geezers, and you're like, I think I want to get my say in on that.
Yeah. I am not familiar with Blake 7. I never got a chance to see it, and this may very well be my chance. Blake 7 has come to Blu-ray.
You know, if I get enough people that are interested, maybe I'll find some time during the week and start a Blake 7, watch party. Go all through all 4 seasons. I love this show.
Same here.
In Chicago, in the Chicagoland area, growing up, I was in high school. My freshman year, I met some really good friends who introduced me to Doctor Who. And here in Chicago, you'd watch Doctor Who on PBS.
Yep.
And it was late night Sunday, I believe it was. And it was usually a triple bill. It was Blake 7, Doctor Who, and the Tripods. And loved all 3 of them. That's what really got me into British sci-fi. And Blake 7, oh man, starting with the first episode, it's okay. So they talk about the Federation, right? So think Star Trek, but like the mirror universe, right? It's an evil Federation, and they get into all of the, well, I honestly, very much like the politics I'm seeing today. You get brought in, trumped up on charges as an insurrectionist with made up evidence. It's all programmed into a computer, and it spits out the verdict that's already been pre-programmed into it. And basically you're guilty, whether, no matter what. And Blake was one who was an insurrectionist. You come in en medias res because he had previously been a rebel that they had a big following, and they got a hold of him, brainwashed him, made him admit to a bunch of different crimes, said, you should be faithful to the Federation or whatever. And then they completely wiped his memory and put him back into a menial job. And he ends up getting his memory back and realizing what's happened. And it's a 4-season arc of him teaming up with other rogues to try to take down the Federation. And I would love to do something with this. And if the Blu-rays are they region specific like DVDs are? Does anyone know?
Not sure.
Some are. Some are not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are?
It
They
depends.
can be.
Yeah, it's not like a one size fits all. It's just going to depend on which movie. So you got to do your homework if you care about those types of things and know what you're getting yourself into.
Well, I do have the British DVD release. It was never released in the US. Well, at least not in disc format.
I actually do love this series. I grew up watching, like with Troy, Doctor Who, that lineup.
Yeah.
Like me, we had a friend that was born and raised in the London area. Mm-hmm. She came over here to America, married an American, and stayed. Last time I heard they were in Texas. Great people. She introduced us to Doctor Who, even though I grew up watching a lot of the English programs. You cannot go wrong with this Blake 7.
No, absolutely right. So the point is, I do have it on DVD, so I can do a watch party of it. So I think I will. I'll just have to find a
It's
time. It's
definitely
probably
ranked
going to
up
be like
there.
a weekend afternoon somewhere.
Joining us in the panel, my partner in crime, the toxic gunslinger himself, Outlaw Bill.
Yo! What's
Good
going
evening.
on?
Glad
There
you
you
could
go.
make it, bud.
What happened?
And-
What happened? Nothing. Did something happen?
Yeah,
I don't know.
on my end.
Yeah, well. All right, and I would like to say hello in the
Oh,
chat.
that was me
Gary
probably
Ambrosia.
switching on my camera.
Shout out to the great Gary Ambrosia. Yeah.
Sir.
Gary.
All right. Troy, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. You were saying.
No, I'm just saying that I just need to find a time because now I'm going to have to start a new show to start rewatch of Blake 7. But I'd be happy to do that on a weekly basis. Maybe a Saturday afternoon kind of thing or something.
Well, how much time do you have left
I
doing
love the show.
Twin Peaks?
Oh, you know what? I think the Twin Peaks thing is going to go on for a while because
It's going to
we
go
got
for a while.
We got to finish up the season. We got to go through the audios of what's it called, the final dossier
final
and
dossier.
the secret history, and then we're probably going to get into some tangentially related stuff like Mulholland Drive, Inland Empire. What's that one with Nicolas Cage?
Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart, yeah. We'll probably hit on. It's probably going to be an almost ongoing David Lynch kind of a thing. But I'll probably start a poll on my channel or something and ask people, when would you be able to make a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon's pretty busy already. This deleted scenes guy's already got Sunday all kind of tied up.
Yeah, I've got it sewed up. And hello to Andy Masterson. Good to see you, sir. All right. Yeah, because we've had so many people ask us, what show do you want to do after Twin Peaks? And let's just finish.
This is going to be going for a while. Yeah. I think we've got at least enough material to get us through the end of the year and probably most of the spring related to Twin Peaks. So, yeah.
How many
Besides,
seasons was that on?
Which Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
It was 2 seasons in its original run, and then Showtime did 1 season. And there was 1 movie, which we've already watched. But like I said, there's a lot of other tangentially related stuff that Lynch has done. And part of what I've been saying on the Tuesdays with Live from Sparkwood and 21, which is 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes channel, is that I feel like because it is so avant-garde, so non-linear, impressionistic almost. In order to really understand Twin Peaks, you kind of really have to understand David Lynch. So it's worthwhile to look at some of his other projects that have recurring themes, because when you see things involving, oil and owls and fire and other imagery that you see within Twin Peaks, you get an impression. But when you see it recurring in other things too, you get more of a bigger picture. It's kind of like seeing the whole artist's palette, so to speak.
Indeed.
Is it weird that when you said fire, I thought about when Butthead's like fire.
Actually, kind of no. I think that kind of applies, but I don't want to. I certainly want to. Joe seeing.
Looks like I put it in your head now. Now you can't get it out.
I'm sorry I didn't give you a chance to say hi to all the people that are joining us now.
Right. We have
Rod
Plato
Thunderheart.
and
Yep.
Rod
Rod
Thunderheart.
Thunderheart.
Rod Thunderheart. There you go.
All right.
Super appreciate you guys stopping by. You guys are awesome. I know you're really here for Nick, but you know, I still appreciate
your crazy talk.
I think this is the second time I've been on a stream with Nickweiser. I think this is. I mean, I was excited every time I was on a stream with Sin, but now Nick too. I mean, I'm at the big boys table. I'm with the cool kids.
I'm just happy to be here. Like I like it's cool to always meet new faces, and of course I know Steven and Joe. But it's cool to meet other people like you. So I'm here to have fun and enjoy the good stuff of life.
You guys have always got members of the Dix Division everywhere.
Oh, that's why I like is no matter where you go, there are Dix Division members, and we make sure our dicks are seen everywhere we go.
That sounded
may
so
not be
wrong.
Measured. We may not want you to measure them, but they're seen.
But
that's okay. I'm not monetized. Oh wait, shit.
Not anymore. You're not.
Hey, if anyone who watches Toxic Tuesday knows, getting demonetized is our specialty. It becomes basically a race to how fast we can get there. It's not like a bad thing. It's more like an achievement unlocked.
Right.
I think I got us demonetized like about 5 minutes into Hard Target. With that line I threw out there. So.
And then see, I have no regrets.
Yeah,
I have no regrets. If anything, if we could just go back in time and do it again, I think I'd do it all over again.
Nice.
Remember that Snickers commercial? No regrets.
Oh yeah. Oh god, no regrets here, man. It really is the race to get demonetized. Like if I ain't saying something, it's Backdoor Gary saying something. Like someone's gonna say something, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be diabolical. It's gonna be huge, and it's gonna be very homoerotic. It's greatness.
Yeah. I just want to know how he got his name. Backdoor Gary.
Okay, so the story behind the name Backdoor Gary was because Gary started this phrase that he uses exclusively on Toxic Tuesday, where someone will just say something. It just doesn't matter what. Like whatever wild statement you say, he'll finish your sentence with saying, "I'll put that ... in my butt," and that's how Backdoor Gary was born.
Oh man,
jeez, guys, I tell you. But well, congratulations to Rod Thunderheart.
Yes, indeed.
He's got himself he's running long haul way up north. So, in other words, those Alaskan ice road truckers, to heck with that stuff. We're going to be watching the Rod Thunderheart show, right? Is that how it's going to be? I hope so.
All right.
And Mark Stevenson, welcome. Good to see you too.
Got my copy pre-ordered. Though
a
copy of what? But
Blake 7.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Either Blake 7 or Rod Thunderheart's next book. I'm not sure which. It could go either way. But yeah, no, I guess I'll have to find out, and I'll probably have to seek out somebody who's like little bit more expert in this kind of stuff than I am. Maybe I don't know, maybe Tom and or somebody. I don't know. I'll find out. But
he says of Blake 7. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah. So yeah, like I said, I don't know if that's going to be something I'll even be able to watch here in the States if the Blu-ray is region specific. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they screwed us again, because like I said, they never released it on DVD here in the States. They did release it on VHS, but I don't think they went all the way through all 4 seasons. So I was kind of left hanging there, and all I could do was take to the high seas and make my own DVDs for a while. until I realized, oh, I can get the British DVDs and turn them into American versions. Big Al, you okay?
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah. Oh no, just had a little in the throat there.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. All right.
Did anybody,
Late night gunk.
I understand. I understand.
did anybody read the article and see if maybe it mentioned where it was going to be available?
I did. It wasn't clear. It
Okay.
wasn't clear. It was more focused on the fact that it was getting a release, which actually was a big deal because this is. I don't have any temporal distance anymore because I'm getting old, but it's been a long time. High school for me was I graduated in '89, so this had to have been '85 that I started watching it. So it's an old series. Unfortunately, I think the entire cast is gone now, and I've been and at least Garrett Thomas and oh darn, I'm drawing a blank on who played Avon. But when they passed, I know that I made Boomer do an in remembrance, or give me the opportunity to do the in remembrance on Geeky Geezers for them, because I knew he didn't know who they were, and most of the people in our audience wouldn't.
This site, is this a UK site, or is it an international, like is it worldwide, or is it US site? Like which
this news outlet?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing American since it's written August 22nd rather than 22 August.
Okay.
It's Gizmodo.
So, I mean, that makes me wonder
Okay.
if it is. Oh, okay. It just makes me wonder if it will be US.
Yeah, I'm going to look into it and find out. I didn't know going into tonight's. Paul Darrow, thank you, Mark. Oh, gosh, how could I have forgotten that? Mark, did you ever read the book that was the follow-up to Blake 7? I think it was co-written by Paul Darrow. Anyway, just curious. Avon was good at being a dick. Yes, he also had some cool. Yes, he did. And Mark, you might be interested to know that I have a whole ship in Star Trek Online that's made in the image of Blake 7. Got the whole bridge crew, and they're flying a ship that looks exactly like the Liberator.
And hello.
No,
to
okay,
Jonathon.
look for it.
All right. And autocorrect is giving our pal Rod Thunderheart some issues. Autocorrect can burn in hello. And I'm getting a little tired of your shirt. All right, moving on. All right.
Blake 7 is a great series. I love it.
That's what everyone tells me. I really do need to sit down and start watching this at some point. And hello to Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Good to see you, sir. All right.
Troy, where did you watch it at as a kid? Did you watch it on public broadcasting?
Yeah, it was on PBS,
Same here.
WTTW in Chicago.
That's where we got the British stuff I watched was Benny Hill and the Flying Circus, Monty Python.
And someone earlier in the chat had mentioned Gary Anderson. I'm aware of my co-host on Geeky Geezers, Aged Boomer, is real big into his stuff, specifically UFO and Space 1999. I did not actually watch those shows. I wanted to watch Space 1999, but I was never able to figure out exactly when and where it was showing here in the US. And again, that falls into my other passion, the Mego action figures. They were putting out the Space 1999 figures, and I was always curious about them. I had no idea what they were all about.
I had some of those toys. I never got to see the TV show.
Yeah, well, they're all available on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't visited them yet. It's just I remember having the toys as a kid. I loved the spaceship and everything, but I never got to see the show.
Has anyone heard of UFO? UFO from
UFO. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was another Gary Anderson.
Yeah. Another good series. Only one season.
Is it weird how there are shows that did okay to not the worst but not great, and they didn't get renewed for another season. But then you look at trash like Batwoman, and that did worse than all those shows, and it got renewed for 2 more seasons. Like, make that make sense.
Yeah.
Well, at least the Acolyte didn't get renewed.
Oh,
I'm honestly surprised when I was talking with
Yeah.
Comics Division and the Midnight's Edge guys about it on both their channels. I was actually surprised because it just seems like it's right up their alley to make a point so bad that they're willing to just throw away their own money just to make a point. And it seems like now that it must be that they're at a point where the well must be starting to dry up now. Because
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
for 2018 or 19, you know they still have renewed that shit. You know it.
Yep.
Well, I've always told people, you know, when it comes to political atmosphere and things culturally, it comes in ebbs and flows. I mean, I myself and a couple other panel members have been around long enough to know that, you know, the pendulum swings. Sometimes it takes longer, but, you know, we're seeing that Marvel is doing a purge of people that have been trashing their products, and they're trying to turn things around there. Maybe the same thing is, maybe they're going to follow suit with Lucasfilms. I wouldn't hold my breath waiting on it, but
Yeah, I heard
the
Lucasfilms
signs
is
are there.
still a bit of
Yeah.
a lost cause right now,
Mhm.
but you never know. Maybe this is a sign.
Yep.
Hope so, but you never know.
It was so funny. I was sitting in the break room when I was still working at Libby Glass, and there was this guy. He was railing about the government and how gas prices were out of control. And this was like in 2004, 2005, right? And he's got a bunch of young people there, and this guy's my age, and he's flipping out. And I looked at him. I said, I used to call him Tim the Tool Man. His name was Tim. And we were both operators in the deco department at Liddy. And I said, Tim, are you able to buy gas every day of the week now? He said, he's just stopped because he knew where I was going. He said, yeah, I can, Joe. Yeah. And all the young guys looked at me in the break area and said, oh, what are you talking about, Joe? And I said, tell him, Tim. You know, and he told him about the oil embargo back in the 70s where you know, depending on what the last number in your license plate was, you bought gas on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, you know. And my whole point was, guys, it ebbs and flows, you know. Best you can do is take care of your own backyard. You know what I mean? That's all you can do. All
I
that
remember
stuff
the
is
embargo.
local. Worry about what's going on in your own backyard. Yep. So.
That's
But
why I was.
hopefully they'll turn the stuff we love around. What I'm really hoping for is that somebody worth a damn gets a hold of Star Trek in this full sale sell-off of friggin' Paramount. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, but now it's going to a bidding war, so
Yeah,
we
it
don't
is.
know
Yeah.
who
Mm-hmm.
end up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's the wrong person, nothing's going to change, and Paramount just going to die.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Very interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'd like to take the time to say hello to Peter Venkman fan site. Venkman's girl on
Hey,
X.
hey,
Good to
hey.
see you. Yes.
Great supporter of a lot of our channels. She's very
Indeed.
frequently shouting out our channels, which is great. So thank you for your service.
Confident. Tim says, I'll buy Star Trek. Let's start a GoFundMe for Star Trek.
Yeah.
I've mentioned to people that have said it's so devalued, you know, it's I could probably afford it. I'm like, yeah, but no, you can't, because the problem is I'm sure there is so much debt incurred now by Paramount. You know, anything you bought, if you buy them, you buy their debt as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, well, you know, take a look at what's going on with the CW, man. Whoever bought the CW, I don't know who did it. I have no idea, but they have turned that thing around. That you can tell by how a network does is how well its sports division does. And all of a sudden, CW has a sports division. They have stuff coming on there. They're actually getting what is it, NXT? If you're a wrestling fan, they're going to have NXT on there starting in October. Yeah, and remember, those of us that cover this stuff on our channels, they weren't worth a damn. What, 2 years ago? And they were begging for somebody to buy them, you know. And they have turned that thing around. Now their television choices, you know, as far as what they're promoting, have been up and down. You know.
Yeah.
Whoever thought it was a good idea to remake Walker Texas Rangers, an idiot, you know. But yeah, I mean, they're making some really good moves for the CW. You know, there's good and bad stuff out there.
Right.
I am hopeful
All right,
for
good
Star
night.
Trek.
Good
I'm
night,
hopeful. Yep. Good night, Tim.
Actually,
Good
I thought
night.
he was saying good night to Putin's cat.
Oh, is
Well,
that right?
one or the other.
Right.
Good night to either or both of you if
good
you
night.
guys are leaving.
Good night.
Thanks for stopping by.
Leaving. And welcome to a name I'm seeing for the first time, Brian Woodbridge.
Welcome.
All right.
Hey.
Hello.
Out of
And hello again to Dee Penzak, if I didn't say so earlier. CW is owned by the Next Star Media Group. Oh,
Yeah, that one kind of surprised me. I was saying they were the ones I was saying that were so dirt cheap that anyone could afford them, but they were so far in debt that that's what you were really paying for them. And I was like, is there anything of value there? And you know, you're right. It does sound like they've actually done a decent job of trying to do something with that.
I think they bought CW for like a stick of gum and a bag of Funyuns.
Pretty much, yeah. They were taking on debt, like we've been saying, and yeah, they've made the right decisions as far as trying to start to make money on that network. I know I'm going to be watching it when NXT goes there, and I'm going to watch that. They've got college football. You know, they've got some stuff for us guys that like guy stuff. You know what I mean? And it's been geared towards women a lot in the past. If you look at some of the programming they've had on there, like the originals and shoot, what else? The whole Arrowverse, yeah, it was DC, but it was really geared towards chicks. Really was to get female eyes on it.
I got a question for you about NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in Joe Hendry?
You know I do. I believe in him. What outfit was he with? He was with TNA first, right?
He's with he was in Scotland originally, and
yeah, I think he was with TNA for a little while too.
He's still officially TNA, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, I believe in him. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot.
I like LA Knight.
I do too.
I know him as Eli Drake. Myself.
Eli Drake, yeah. He's a Maryland boy. He's from Hagerstown, Maryland. I live in Maryland, so I know LA. That's cool. Know LA Knight.
That's cool. We don't want to divert this into
everybody else is like, what are they talking about?
Rod Thunderheart will jump on the stream and everybody will want to bail. No, I'm just kidding.
That's fine. Well, one
thing CW's doing the right stuff.
Yeah,
they are.
Oh, good. Well, hopefully they will turn it around over there and actually get their viewership back up, because it has been a long, damn good while since they've had anything worth watching over there. So.
See, it's something like that always been when everybody goes, "Oh, this is dead" or "that is dead." I was like, no.
It can make a turnaround.
Yes, things can turn around. Just gotta wait it out sometimes, sadly. But you know,
I mean, you know, if it's something that's not up to snuff, then we have to say so. But if, like, for example, you know, Disney, if Disney does something good, there are people who liked Andor. I like the Haunted Mansion movie they did. You know, if they do something good, you gotta say so. You know, and because that's what we want them to do. Good. You made something good. Now go back and do it again.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty vocal about it. I've actually liked a lot of the stuff that Disney Star Wars has given, except for the sequels and except for the Acolyte. Now, I'm not going to say it's all great. Like Ahsoka and Boba Fett, they were fair to middling, but I enjoyed it when I was watching it. I didn't think it was a dumpster fire or anything.
Al, I watched one episode of Book of Boba Fett and turned it off.
I enjoyed it.
As soon as he didn't kill the person that came from the city that said, "Oh, we expect you to give us tribute." As soon as he didn't kill it, I was like, "This is not the Boba Fett I know from my childhood." No. I didn't watch one episode of Obi-Wan because when I saw Princess Leia was in it, I was like, "What?"
I really enjoyed Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
very much. Everybody was like going, "Oh, well, this is so terrible," and I'm like,
"But Andor, I enjoyed. I love Andor. I really
Andor. I like Andor as well. I really enjoyed that a lot.
I think Andor is probably the best series that they've.
It is.
I
think it is. Yeah.
I haven't seen it myself, but from what I've heard about it, it sounds like the storyline and the tone very much like Blake 7. So I'm thinking I might have to check it out.
It doesn't feel like a Star Wars product.
Same here.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it was, Darth. I agree.
Yeah.
You put the war in Star Wars, just like Rogue One did.
I have enough people. I have enough people I respect right here up on the panel right now, singing the praises of this show. All right, I will break down.
Nice.
I will watch Andor.
Nice.
I'll watch Andor. Okay.
I probably will have to
It's
too.
not
now.
like any other Star Wars show.
Yeah, it's the origin story of how Andor became a rebel.
If you're interested in the workings of the Empire and how they do things, you see behind the curtain. They pull back the curtain on the Wizard, and you see how they do a lot of the things they do.
And there's no Force, there's no lightsabers.
It's none of that. It's
stuff.
about the world of Star Wars, what they're living in. Yeah,
and it's worth watching that show just to watch Andy Serkis's performance. I think.
Yeah. He's not CGI'd up. It's him.
Yeah,
to see him actually emote as a person. Yeah,
and he does, and it's a great
slow burn.
It's a great character.
Sure.
Yep.
And let's face it, it is connected to the only other project that
Rogue One.
That Disney Star Wars did in theaters.
That was movie they've made
good.
for sure.
That was decent. Yeah.
I liked it as well.
Right.
Well, here's the problem. We were talking about this the other night on the Roadhouse. Star Wars came up, and one of the guys, I think it was Duke Blue Devil, brought up the fact that Star Wars has always been a cinematic entity, and they're trying to turn it into episodic television. And with a lot of them, it's not a good venue for it. I mean, some of the stuff they've done, I'm with Al. Some of it's been good. Some of it's been bad. Mandalorian, I've enjoyed that show. It's got a little too much Grogu in it for me, but I've enjoyed it.
I'm sorry. I love Grogu. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's cute.
He was different cute. But the point is, they've done some good stuff there. But when it comes to these movies they made, my God, they need to. It's almost like they put more thought into what they were putting on the friggin' streaming service instead of the movies themselves.
Even if it's not a lot. I mean, look at the money that they're spending, which is already by default a major concern. But then you look at like the people who are writing a lot of these stories. There are people who don't really. They stretch out ideas that would be made for 3 to 4 episodes, and they stretch them out anywhere between 6 and 10 episodes. Yeah. So they drag these things out, and you're like, holy crap. This could have been better if they had trimmed down the fat. These shows need a major diet, even ones that seem fun. Even, I know a Drinker Muller had fun feelings about Andor, which I didn't watch, but I'm aware that they were actually pretty fond of the show, but the one thing that they seem to agree on as a small part of the show is that they said that their main protagonist is kind of unlikable. Apparently, everything else is so good that apparently that it makes up for him not being all that great. It's not like he's like the male Captain Marvel, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he's lucky. There's a good. It sounds like to be a good script there. That
Oh man, the
helps
support
the show
characters
out.
in that are awesome. Who wasn't rooting for that one guy to kill his mother? I mean,
Oh,
come
I
on.
don't-
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yikes. I was so waiting for him to flip. I really was. It was awesome. Yeah, it was a good show. If you have not seen it, Deleted Scenes, you need to go ahead and visit it when you've got nothing better to watch.
I did
Watch
like
that.
I did like the character of Andor more than Captain Marvel, but that's largely because I can't stand Brie Larson. So
Okay, but Sin, you did bring up something here in the chat that Troy's also brought up in the past, and that's this fan edit of Kenobi.
of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't watched that yet, but I have it.
I do too, and you're right. I haven't watched it either, but everything I've read about it says it's really good.
Fan edits.
I'm big on fan edits, so I always make sure I grab them when you can, because unlike some of the other things that are out there and available on the high seas, the fan edits can be difficult to find. You grab them when you can.
I have, since Gina's firing, I have only watched one episode from one show, and that was the first episode of Book of Bubba. It seems like that
Beta
was.
Fett, Book of Beta Fett? Yeah.
It seems like that was Book of Bubba in name only, because it seemed like it was that one.
Yeah.
What's that lady's name? God, Ming
Oh,
Na
they
Wen.
called her the Cavalry
Yeah.
on
It seemed
Agents
like
of Shield. I can't remember the.
Yeah,
the
Ming
name
Na
of it
Wen.
all.
It seemed like, I mean, from what I've been told, for those who continue, it seemed like it ended up being as much her show, if not slightly more than Bubba's.
Right.
And I watched it thinking, wow, something tells me this feels like it's going to be a show that she runs. And it seems like I was only half right, but still even halfway right is not something to be
The
something to be proud
the
of.
girl's name, Nick, is Ming Na Wen. That's
Ming
right.
Na Wen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
I
And
did watch it all the way through,
okay.
and I will tell you that keep in mind that the Book of Boba Fett was originally intended to be a feature film that they decided to turn into and stretch out into a streaming series.
Okay.
And it's very
that
evitable.
explains a lot of why
It-
people told me they stuck
Yes.
some episodes of
Yes.
Mandalorian in it. Yeah.
Not just that. There was a lot of filler that was
Mhm.
clear, and the pacing was terrible. It was
Mhm.
very clear that this should have been told in a 2-hour movie, and they stretched it out to
Oh,
Yeah.
what was it, a
yeah.
10 episode film? It was, if they had made it and honestly, I feel like the kernels of a great story were there, and I could have seen a trilogy of films.
Mhm.
If it had been as simple as he gets out of the Sarlacc pit, does the thing to get his armor back, and then takes over Jabba's empire, and then we start getting what I think Lucas was originally planning to do, a series called Underworld. I felt like that's what they were planning to lead into. But
Right. I think there was a video game supposed to be developed having to do with Underworld too. I
yeah,
think I've heard about. Yes, I know what you're talking about, Troy. Yes, and that from everybody that I know that knows deep lore on Star Wars, the guy I listen to is my friend Knock, that's on my show with me. He has read everything that has to do with Star Wars. He's like half my age, and he knows more than I ever will about it. And because I just watch the movies, man, I'm just a movie nut.
but
you know?
there is a Star Wars. I think it's called Star Wars Underworld. That was made as a parody, an adult parody. And from what I've seen of it, it looks like better Star Wars than a lot of the Star Wars that we've seen on Disney Plus.
Well, that's not a hard bar.
It's
to
not
hurdle,
it's
is it?
not
Yeah.
a high bar. It's really not. But so I do feel like if there was an edited version of the Book of Boba Fett that edited it down to like a feature film, it probably would have been way better. And heck, even the horrendous, much maligned street chase, the speeder chase through the city. If you just,
You mean when the Power Rangers showed up?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. If you re-edited that, take the Vespas out, speed it up a little bit, with some clever cuts, that could have been a much, much better scene. The kernels of a great story were there. And in fact, I think it was filmed. I think those kernels were filmed. It just needs some serious editing, and you could have a really good movie.
Hey man, we all want Star Wars to be good. We all want Marvel to be good again. We all,
Yeah.
we all want it to be good. We're gonna call it out when it's bad, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because we
And
dig it. We want it to be good. Yeah.
I
Like
do want
the
to say
Acolyte.
hello to the chat. Tim Hayes is with us,
Yeah.
and
Another
Hayes,
member of the
welcome.
division
Hello.
right there. Yes.
and Tim, I keep an eye on your DMs. I want to run something past you later.
Awesome.
Okay. Let's see. Well, since I have kind of my movie crew here, or at least a couple of them anyway, with Al and Sin, and we have all three of us seen Alien Romulus.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I'm not even
Careful, girl.
commenting.
There's
Oh,
a
Bill.
beverage here. Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
I seen it.
Dude.
I've seen
And
it.
Connie. Yeah.
Not like it.
I have struck out. I have struck out at the movie theater, except tonight was a good one. Strange Darling. I recommend.
I've heard good things about that. Yeah, I have to give it out a look now. Yeah. Twitter DMs, Tim. Okay. Yeah. I saw Alien Romulus twice.
Oh, you poor thing.
I did too.
Because I had some questions, and also because I was kind of hoping I could figure out what the hell that British kid was saying, because I could not understand a fucking word.
Oh god.
Oh, it's right because
We're
I
talking Dave
fucking
Johnson?
shite in the fucking yeah. No. No, the there's this kid who does this. The character's name is Bjorn, and he does, which I had to look up on IMDb to find out what everybody's name was. It's one of those kind of deals. Anyway, there's a character named Bjorn, and the actor who plays him does this really heavy, over-the-top Cockney accent that is completely unintelligible at any speed.
Are you talking about Dave Johnson?
No,
No,
he's the
Spike Fern.
Spike Fern or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
just one because I
Dave-
hadn't seen the movie.
David Johnson, he's the character who plays Andy. The
I
android.
like
The
him.
android.
I heard about him.
I did like him.
He is the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's excellent. Yeah.
hands
He
down.
absolutely is. And some people, I saw some people on Twitter complaining, like, well, I don't remember who it was, but how in the world could this be like acting like he's like God's gift to the movie or whatever? Well, he was the only good thing about it for me. So if I liked him the most, I'm going to mention it.
Yeah, of course.
He was a
As one
standout positive.
As one should. That should be. You want to acknowledge the good, even if something's not good.
Yeah.
You want to acknowledge what is good, because you can have an actor still give a great performance in a bad movie. It's not like it's a new phenomenon. There's been tons of times where you've seen a great actor be really good in something that's really bad, which it obviously goes to show you that even the best actor can only do so much to save a movie, but also shows you that, hey, something in there can make it somewhat redeemable.
Hey, Gene Hackman was a great Lex Luthor in Superman 4: The Quest for Peace.
Yes, he was.
There are,
Yes, he was.
I mean,
yes, I agree
there's
on
good
that.
parts to every movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude, Arnold as Mr. Freeze, man, still one of the all-star
Come on, bro. One of the
Oh.
greatest. One of the
You know,
greatest.
Dinosaurs. Yeah, he say.
that that whole I feel that movie is much maligned, and especially that interpretation of Mr. Freeze. It completely changed the character to the point that the Mr. Freeze you see in the animated series is very much inspired by the Arnold Schwarzenegger version.
Well, he didn't play Mr. Freeze. He was just Arnold Schwarzenegger painted blue.
Yes,
He as well been,
exactly.
should have been in the
Painted
Blue Man
silver
group.
as Mr. Freeze.
He should have just been. He was just in Blue Man group wearing a fancy suit. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to put him back in the cooler after watching that performance.
Right.
I do want to say hello to a few people who've joined us in the chat. Ruben Christopher Haynes.
Yep.
Get well
Another
soon,
member
sir.
of the division.
He's still
Yes.
listening, babe.
Yeah.
The Cluu Channel has joined us.
Hi, Cluu.
Hello, Cluu. And Shadow the Raven has this. It's a bit of a late night for him, so he has to.
Understood.
Understood, indeed. All right.
And thank you. I was saying in
And
the chat,
LDG is joined us.
LDG, hello.
I did want to thank the Cluu Channel. He upgraded his membership on my channel to VIP, and I really, really appreciate him for that. I mentioned him on Friday, but
nice.
Friday.
What was the weekend winner, by the way? Because I was looking to see. I'm
Deadpool.
about the, yeah, because it looks like
back.
Deadpool is top spot for Sunday. Let me
Yep.
see what
it was the top spot.
nice.
Yeah.
Because Alien Romulus
Romulus
does
dropped
not
at number 2.
deserve
Yeah.
to be top spot.
No.
It just doesn't.
It does.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad Blink Twice underperformed as well, or didn't do super great. That makes me happy. And
Oh my
what was
gosh,
the other one that was?
Crow
The
is-
Crow was
The
so
Crow.
bad.
Number 8. It is
no,
horrible.
I
The
It is
refuse.
not doing well
I
at
feel
all.
bad for Bill Skarsgård because I like him and his performance was fine, but the movie was crap.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I've said this before about other people. I don't feel bad about people that make bad choices and take a role in a film that they should know better.
Yeah, I'm with
You
that.
would
As
think
far
they
as I'm
should know
aware,
better,
there's
yeah.
only
You need to
one
choose
Crow
your
movie.
role.
There's only
Well,
one Crow movie,
Troy,
and it's
maybe
Brandon
you
Lee
know
as
better. Maybe he
Raven.
didn't know better.
He might have thought it looked good on paper.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He played
I-
a
fact,
miserable
he-
emo
in
goth
fact,
kid
he's
who was
ticked
a
off.
drug addict. He was nowhere near the same pizzazz. And
Yeah, he
energy
wasn't the
that
same character at all. And the chick
No.
was so unlikable. I did
Oh,
not like her
absolutely
at
unlikable.
all. She was in her
The-
performance was terrible. And their chemistry, like the stuff they said to each other, you guys, it just I was rolling my eyes so hard. And it was showing these montages of them kissing and making out, and they're doing drugs and
yeah.
talking about music and having sex and all. I was like, okay, well, get on with it. And then they're showing stupid stuff like she says to him, "If I'm hard to love, love me harder." And I'm like, no, bitch, run away. If she's saying stuff like this is not a good, healthy relationship. And then they're like, if I jumped off this bridge, would you jump with me? And he says, yes. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You both.
The
I can't.
relationship in the
Oh,
original movie was a genuine, loving relationship.
Yes, and
that
it
was
didn't it wasn't overshown.
Well,
Yeah.
it
And
got
we got
to the
it.
point right away in
Exactly.
the original. It got to the point where this one dragged like a whole hour to finally get to that, if not nearly an hour, whereas the earlier movie got to it right away. But even when it got to it right away, you felt like, oh wow, okay, these two genuinely have love for each other, and you
I'm
felt
annoyed,
the
Darth.
pain
Sorry.
for Eric Draven that he
Yeah.
not only lost his girlfriend, the love of his life, but he also, his situation, which was his not so death, was a lot more better done than the original. I mean, they freaking tossed him out of a building. This
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
in this movie was a lot more anticlimactic. It's just like, oh, okay, wow,
They
okay, so
had
that happened.
plastic bags.
And
over-
his look
okay.
as the character was worse. He was also like, outside of the kill scenes, there was no energy to this movie.
Mm-mm.
Like when you watch, like when you watch the original movie, it helps that you had that big industrial soundtrack of the '90s and all
Yeah,
of the new metal stuff.
true.
There's a different feeling about that movie. Like even though like you knew what happened to his wife sucked, but there was an excitement to that movie. Even when you saw him go and be like a badass and kill all his enemies. In this movie, it was a lot more like a Zack Snyder movie where it was very dour, depressing. It was a woo is me types. Whereas Brandon Lee's Crow is just like, okay, I'm gonna kill all these bastards. Fuck all of them. This one's just like, poor me, poor me.
He was very emo, right?
He was
like that. But even the fight scenes, you guys, were unimpressive to me. Like I was not. It was just like they went overboard to be as gross and bloody as possible, as if that was going to somehow make up for the fact that it just was ho hum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was just a steamroller. It was straight ahead. There was no flair, no style, no choreography. It was just a kill fest.
My
recommendation. I heard they just went overboard with the nihilism.
Dude, it really does. And that's the thing. The original Crow movie does have hope to it. One, he had his girlfriend Shelly, who was a big fan of Christmas. They were they were really into each other too. The Crow himself also had a supporting character to lean on for when he was not all there. That remember the teenage girl in the movie? She was there. He also had Ernie Hudson as well. This movie, he has the afterlife with this guy named Kronos, and he's awful. This Kronos guy and this whole afterlife thing that they add in for that movie, it's awful. It's so much worse. It's such a big downgrade from the Ernie Hudsons of the world. And Ernie Hudson, apparently he's not pleased that they made his movie too. And I'd be just as mad at Ernie Hudson.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's like, there's only one crow.
Yeah, there's only one crow. It shouldn't have ever been touched. And you know what? I don't care what people's opinions are for or against the idea of the afterlife, but I truly believe someone out there, Brandon Lee, is making them pay for this movie and even existing.
Good point. My thought is that anytime someone is presented with a role, you should look at it and say, okay, what am I looking at here? I'm looking at a remake of something else. That should immediately start some alarm bells going off. Look back at what you're remaking. Oh, this is well beloved by fans. I'm not touching this thing. Or at least watch the thing, compare it to the script and go, no, the original's better. No, we can improve on this. But if you say that, can it really?
Really? They probably thought they were improving, adding in the druggy element because they want to sympathize with them. Hey, look, these people, they're not so bad. They're drug addicts.
What they could have done and what might have helped it a little bit is made it about a completely different set of characters. Because the other Crow movies were like that, but why did you have to make it Eric Draven and Shelley?
Yep. That would have helped. It would have, because the sequels actually at least had the decency to do that, not continue Eric Draven's story.
Right.
Instead, they went for Eric Draven because you know what? They assumed that because if we use Eric Draven, that people are going to show up just because the name Eric Draven's there, which goes to show you now that the argument of the built-in audience isn't always defaulted to they're going to show up just because the name is there. Like there is still expectations for certain things, and it also goes to show you that a lot of people were going to give this the time of day because they knew Brandon Lee was Eric Draven. That's just one of those characters you don't recast. You can recast your Captain Americas, you can recast your Supermans, 007s, but Eric Draven was Eric Draven from Brandon Lee. And that's not just because he died. His performance was freaking awesome. And he was souped up for that role. He had done Hollywood movies like Showdown, Little Tokyo. He was set to be a rock star. And Brandon Lee,
his father was.
Yes,
right at the peak.
Yes, Brandon. If Brandon Lee were alive today, he probably would have gone on to have done 800 more great movies where we would have some kick ass and take names. And for all we know, maybe we would have more action heroes to this day, but we'll never know.
But you were talking
correct
about.
Me if I'm wrong, that they could have, like we've been talking about, like Sin was mentioning, they could have. Isn't the comic book an anthology? Isn't it several stories about different people?
Yes, it is an anthology about several different people.
Coming back for revenge from a random act of violence, right?
Yes, it is. They could have gone the way, but of course they wanted to take the route that they assumed would bring them the audience, and it did it. And you know what? I actually don't feel any sympathy for them. I'm not saying I wish failure on them, but I'm just saying I don't feel any sympathy towards them. They did this to themselves. They shot themselves in the foot, thinking that people are going to come just because it was the Crow and Eric Draven. No, and that's why I'm not going to give my money to that crap either.
Oh, you were talking about the fact of bringing in the audience. because of the Crow. It's like, did anybody see any marketing for this film?
Yeah, there were trailers.
I think I saw
yeah,
one.
Besides the trailer, I didn't see anything
Well,
really
I
related
think
to
it's
this
I
all
don't
film.
see it on
Acolyte.
television. That's
It
It's
depends
something
on where
all
you
over
are.
the
I didn't even know it was coming out. It suddenly just kind of popped up.
I think it's going to depend on where you are, what your station, who you surround yourself with, whether it's on social media, at work. I live an hour outside of Chirac, and outside of Chirac, I'm trying to think how to describe.
That's a good point,
some
Sashi.
ads.
Yeah.
I saw some ads for it. And now, as far as my workplace, I work in a workplace that has about 100 employees. Not one worker was like, this sounds good. I had one worker actually ask me, hey, what's the deal with this movie? And I told him how I felt about it. And outside of how I feel about it, this is what the situation is. And I think it's going to turn out to be a absolutely huge bomb, and surely enough, it is exactly that.
A lot of people were predicting that. Yeah,
4.8 million on a 50 million budget.
Not even $5 million domestic.
No, I'm not. I don't want to sound like I'm complimenting the movie, but I'm actually shocked that it's only 50 million, because nowadays Hollywood has a fetish where they feel like they need to spend 150 million to $200 million even on movies like that. So I'm actually, I guess I could say that's good that they didn't spend that much money, because technically that's not as big of a loss as like Borderlands per se. Borderlands, not only it may have maybe it made a little bit more money, but its budget was gargantuanly huger. So because of that, it still makes Borderlands still the bigger failure.
Brian Woodridge made a great point that I want to comment on. He says, as soon as Zemeckis passes away, they'll probably remake Back to the Future and destroy it. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Anybody approached to be in that movie should say, hell no.
Apparently,
there's going to be people that
anyone who does decide to do that movie
take it,
deserves what they get. So I will not feel sorry for them.
There's certain movies that don't need to be remade. When I saw they were remaking Roadhouse, I said, you can't do better than Patrick Swayze.
Right.
And they didn't.
They really, really didn't. But someone else.
No, they went and remade Roadhouse.
I think it was Sin. Was it Sin who said they should have gone with a different Crow? It should have been Irish Shaw. That would have been perfect. That would have been their opportunity to do a girl boss story with a lot of heart, right? Which doesn't trample on the Eric Draven story, the beloved, Brandon Lee story. You could think of it as a reboot. You could think of it as a sequel, and you'd have been just fine. But they didn't. So, they get what they deserve.
Yep.
Go broke.
Yep.
Well,
there was
the Crow remake. That's basically what it is. It's not even like a woke movie outside of the obvious race swaps.
Yeah.
Outside that, it's really not. It's just a movie that just plainly bad. It's just plainly bad. So don't go looking for like major ideology. Like
Darth is right.
It's just not good. And and dumping and go into past movies. That's a good thing to do. That's why I do a show like Toxic Tuesday, because we don't realize until now, because of the state of the industry the way it is now, we didn't realize how good we had it back then, because there are so many good movies that some we may have overlooked because either we just didn't have enough time, A, or B, because we were so invested in other things. Now's a good time we can say, okay, hey, what did I originally overlook because I didn't have the time, or maybe I was just obsessed with something else completely? This is the golden age to do that. And then on top of it, there's still another market out there. It's just not the mainstream market. You're going to have to actually go out and find it. Like the way, I also come from a background of music where I'm used to having to go out and find out what I like rather than just accept what is put in front of me. And doing that for movies is great. My buddy, that 70s rock fan, he's a big champion of a lot of the new Korean films coming out. And I apparently India's got some good stuff coming out. So I think that's just something a lot of people, especially in America, they need to get in the habit of, is go on, finding these things rather than just see what's put in front of them on the plate. You got to actually go out there and hunt for. You know what? Yeah, you're gonna get some misses, but when you find the hits are gonna be so much more rewarding because you're like, I found this, and now I get to tell people about it.
Well, a lot of people are going to the theater to see those older movies. I mean, you look at
of course.
what some of these theaters are putting out
they've
now.
been bringing some of those.
And
back.
if you've got lucky enough to have what I have here in across the river in Shreveport, we've got one called the Robinson Film Center. That's a nonprofit. They have 2 theaters. They play independent films, foreign films, and old movies. You know, and they play the newer stuff. And it's just a joy to go. Like, for instance, I think I told you guys this before. I took my daughter to see Jaws for the first time in a theater. She had seen it before, but she'd never seen it on a big screen in a darkened theater, right? And she went and saw that with me, and we walked out, and I said, "What do you think of it now?" She goes, "Yeah, that's a lot scarier in the theater, Dad."
Yeah, the big screen experience does really, it just, it heightens it so much. I saw the Terminator for the first time on the big screen like a week or so ago, and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom for the first time on the big screen. It just makes it so much more fun. I love it when they bring those back.
When I hear theaters are closing and all this stuff, I'm like, look, theaters are not ever going to go away because some of us just love that experience.
Yes.
Well, you were talking about older films. I was looking at the box office for the week, and the 15th anniversary of Coraline beat The Crow.
Right? Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was. I think it's number 5, right?
7.
Oh,
it was number 5
okay.
last week. It was number
5
7
last week. Okay.
Well, I'm just glad Alien did not get top spot this weekend. That makes me happy because I don't think it. I don't know.
I liked Alien.
I don't have a dog in that hunt because I checked out when they made that horrible 3rd chapter. So I
don't remember much about the 3rd one. I like the first 2. This one, there were some issues that I had with, like, the gestation period being rapidly sped up. It just made no sense at all. And then all of the adult aliens running around, like, how in the world? Because there was only one person that was infected or impregnated by the whatever. And then the main chick being a mine worker pretty much her whole life, and yet she somehow knows how to work stuff on this place that they go to. She knows how to leave a captain's log. She knows how to do all this other stuff. And she also wasn't very charismatic. I didn't care about her or anybody else.
I called her Ripley White.
Cared about the android. That's who I cared about.
Yeah, he
was the best thing about it.
Yeah.
And then seeing Ash slash.
Yes, that was cheap.
I
like that. I enjoyed that.
Ian Holm. Is that?
I mean,
I thought that was. I like that.
Okay, not Ash the character, but the model, basically.
Yes. Yeah. It was. This one he was Rook.
Yeah, he was Rook, but to me that felt like, and I could buy into it as far thematically, but it still felt like a cheap gimmick. And all of the callbacks they kept making to like at least the previous 2 films, it's so clunky. Like, get away from her, you bitch.
Yeah, I thought that.
No, that doesn't work. And other stuff they did
they didn't
too.
Put that line in the movie, did they?
Yes, they did. And the android said it.
What I say, I gave it 3 out of 5. So I enjoyed it, but I did have I had issues with it. But what it did for me, what really made me enjoy it more, it did wipe the bad taste of all the bad
the other ones
out of my mouth. It was like, okay, this is at least a fun adventure, a fun action film. It's not trying to be anything but what the first 2 films were like. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a retread in a lot of ways, but it was fun. It was fun. It was just fun to watch. And I didn't.
Bored. I was.
So I just sometimes you watch a movie when you're in the right mood at the right time, and lightning just hit straight. It just lightning struck me
So
Yeah, I mean,
I want to add to this. Romulus does seem to, once again, as I mentioned earlier about my place of employment, I think it's a good gauge because now, once again, even though I'm an hour outside of Chirac, I actually work 5 minutes away from Chirac, so I think I get a good gauge of what people are talking about. And Romulus is part of discussion amongst normies. And from what it seems, the consensus is, it seems like this is definitely an alien movie made more so for normies than it is actual fans of franchise. Because I've noticed that the most of the people that aren't really fond of it are people who are really well invested in the alien franchises, and the people who are just seeing it because it's another alien movie and it's something to do in the sea to kill 2 hours of time. They seem to be a lot more fond of it. That seems to be where the gauges has mostly is. The less you know about Alien, you'll probably enjoy it. But if you're like a big Alien fan, you might prepare for disappointment, because I've seen a lot of Alien fans talk about how they don't like how it connects to Prometheus and Covenant. And I'm just like, yeah, I get it. I've only seen 3 and Resurrection once. If if I saw a movie I was looking for the same connecting movies I didn't like, I wouldn't be happy with that either. So I get where that comes from.
A similar thing happened when Dark Fate came out. Hardcore Terminator fans hated it because it was a shitty Terminator movie.
God awful.
It was so bad. But like regular moviegoers thought it was great. I mean, it was a fine action movie, but it was, for a Terminator fan, it was sacrilegious,
Here's the
blasphemous.
difference,
It was terrible.
Then here's the difference, though. Dark Fate bombed, and I mean it bombed.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Whereas Romulus, I mean, maybe there's more normie interest in Romulus versus Dark Fate. Maybe the amount of normies. I mean, I guess it shows you how deteriorated the Terminator franchise was, that the last few people seeing it were mostly Terminator fans hoping they'll turn around with a side order of normies. Whereas I think Romulus, this is just my guess here, I have nothing to prove this on, I think there was a lot of normie interest on this.
Yeah.
Well, the trailer itself looked to me like they were trying to blend the first 2 movies together. I saw the weapons from part 2 in it. The gun that most of the Space Marines were using. I saw that in it. But I also saw all the horrific images of the face huggers and the xenomorphs and all that stuff.
I will say it did make the face huggers a lot more terrifying. Just on their own, like crawling around.
Here's another thing that kind of turned me off of it. There was a whole lot of face huggers in and out of the mouth kind of thing. I almost thought I was watching hentai. I was like, oh my God. And that's just in the trailer. I can imagine what the movie was like.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with me in the film, I haven't put up my review yet. Quite frankly, I'm questioning whether or not I should even bother to do one. Which, how at least once every season on a television show, they will do like a clip show or a bottle show to save money.
Right.
That's what Alien Romulus felt like to me. It felt like a clip show. Okay, this scene is from Alien 1. This is from Resurrection. This is from Prometheus. This is from Blade Runner, because Ridley Scott is producing the movie and he can't keep his grubby fucking hands off of it. This is from, we're going back to Covenant. We're going back to Prometheus. Oh, wait, that's Blade Runner again, and it's just okay. Just
I think
your own movie.
The biggest problem with so many of these franchise films is these ridiculously unnecessary callbacks and throwing in the lines and he said the thing and Easter eggs and so forth. Unless it has substance, you shouldn't be doing it. The callbacks should be real things that make sense. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I've pointed out like in Ghostbusters Afterlife, there was a lot of, in quotes, Easter eggs, but they were the kind of things that almost needed to be there because this is something that's happening to, you know, people connected to those other people. You know, you inherit the house and he's got all these things in there from when he was okay. Those things make sense. Those aren't just Easter eggs. That's connective tissue that has to be there to be a good story. But when you have characters completely separate from other characters repeating a line like, you know, get your hands off her, you bitch, that is stupid.
Yeah.
It takes the audience out of it. Even the fans of the other movie, you know, it's no.
You're right, Troy. Look, my favorite one, and I'm kind of a Homer guy, so okay. You may know who my favorite superhero is. You may not. But my favorite callback that I've seen in the last few years was from No Way Home when Andrew Garfield caught MJ. I mean, it was such a great moment on so many levels because most Spider-Man fans know that you know, Gwen, he couldn't save her, right? And when he saves MJ, it's a big thing, right? Especially for the Andrew Garfield character.
Exactly, it's
right?
like an opportunity to redeem
one of the
himself.
best parts of the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, before
it's so
we
well
go
done
on,
when it's done right. But I heard that what Sin was talking about, and you were talking about the line from Alien 2, "Get away from her, you bitch." I heard it was said by a robot that didn't even know what the hell they were saying, or some shit like that. Yeah.
Right.
I was like, what the hell?
before we go on, I understand Nick does have to leave us. So Nick, are you still? You're muted, sir.
No, I wasn't even speaking yet, so it's all good. I was letting you guys have the floor, so it's all good. But no, it's about damn time that this happened, and it was a pleasure to meet a lot of the faces on here that I haven't met, and of course, good to see some familiar faces like Steven and Joe. Thanks for having me. It's always fun to hang out with shows that are a mixture of familiar faces and new ones. Thanks for having me once again. I do have a channel. Thank you for plugging it in. Troy Pacelli and Steven, both of you. Toxic Tuesday. We'll be talking True Grit. And as far as I'm concerned, there's only one movie called True Grit, and it's the one with John Wayne. So
that's right.
I didn't know there was another.
Yeah, there was.
There was.
Okay.
Well, we pretend that doesn't happen. Anyways, yeah, it's our final episode for our Western Month edition. Trust me when I say Toxic Tuesday is a fantastic time, and it's diabolical. It's huge, and I'll have a video out this week as well. So come check out my channel. Thanks for having me, Steven.
Don't forget about Clobby's Comic Shop.
Yeah. Clobby's Comic Shop. That's my comic show I do on Friday nights where we talk comics over alcohol. We basically just drink and talk comics. It's simple like that. That's it.
Friday night is
and
drinking night.
There are nights I've gotten plenty of drunk and plenty of spending a lot of money on stream. So yeah, you get to see my most diabolical debauchery of drinking on that Friday show. So yeah, come check it out, and hopefully you all like what you see. And once again, Steven, thanks for having me. You all have a great rest of your evening. I'm gonna go face plant on the floor somewhere.
Bye.
Take care.
I feel like a real kindred spirit there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Unintended.
Oh boy.
I met him at the meetup in Dallas a couple of years ago, and he is exactly what you see on YouTube. There's no bullshit there. He's a great guy. A lot of fun. Yeah.
All right. So who has seen?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Who? Okay. No worries. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Nick. Thank you for coming on, man. Nice surprise. All right. All right. So who has seen the Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim trailer?
I have.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It was homework for Geeky Geezer, so I had to see
I was
it.
so hyped for this, and now I'm not. Really. And now I'm not.
Yeah. This trailer bugged the hell out of me. Number one, half of the trailer is scenes from
it's member
the
berries,
trilogy.
boys and girls.
Yeah.
They entice you with member berries at the beginning of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Peter
Hey,
Jackson's
remember
name
this
is prominently
great
noticed.
movie you saw 20 years ago? Well, we're doing
Return to
an
Middle
animated version. You know, we're ripping off Studio Ghibli with the animation, and the film that I was told was supposed to be all about Helm Hammerhand is apparently a movie about his daughter, who was like mentioned once in the appendices.
Helga Hammerhand.
Oh, hell.
Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I was disappointed when I saw it deleted.
Yeah.
Yes. Very much so.
Whams don't need no man. Yeah, I need to see more of that on film.
Yeah.
I
thought
went
we were getting a live action movie when this was first announced, and it turned into an
that
anime.
too.
And the anime director is really good. It's just, well, if you watch the trailer, it's obvious. It's all about the daughter of the king, and I'm like, wow, okay.
This reminds me of what they did with Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
The old bait and switch. Yes. We're going to talk about the Rohirrim, but we're going to talk about one of the ladies that's supposed to be back in the back, but apparently she can whip guys twice her size, and it's.
I can ride
Just watch the
faster
trailer, you see
than
what we're talking
anyone.
about.
And I'm like, oh.
You can probably die faster than anyone too.
Yeah. You know what it
Exactly.
reminds you? You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of that scene in Ghost Dog when the two mobsters get pulled over after the shootout, and that one guy, he whips out his gun, and it's this female cop that they get pulled over by. And he just whips out his gun and just shoots her, right? And the other guy's like, dude, what are you doing? You shot a cop. No, and he says, you shot a woman. He says, I didn't shoot a woman. I shot a cop. She wanted to be equal. She died fucking equal. You know, I'm like, okay, fair enough. Shit. You know, and man, guys, Hollywood, just listen to us. You've got to stop with this. Nobody's going to go see this thing. You're
Look, there are
kneecapping the movie with the.
There are great action heroes that are female. Okay, I love both the Tomb Raider movies that Angelina Jolie made. I thought they were great. They're not super cinema or anything, but they were fun. They're cool movies. But she has support. She has guys that help her. You know, all this other stuff. We're talking about Alien. Can anybody argue that Sigourney Weaver is one of the greatest action stars ever from the Alien series? I mean, but she has stuff that restrict her. She has problems, you know. She outthinks the enemy, right? You watch this trailer, you see her battle. Well, you can see the guy she's fighting is twice her size, and she's just outdoing him. And this guy should be afraid of her, and she tells him that. You know, it's just Ugh. That I like good, strong female characters. My wife is the one that calls this out more than I do. She goes, you know, I like good, strong female characters, but this stuff they're putting on screen is just dumb. That's what she tells me when she sees stuff like this. Yeah. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's like, and I think, Troy, I think you were the one who said this earlier. Might have been Boomer saying, Lord of the Rings is not a franchise.
Right.
And they keep trying to turn it into a franchise, you know. And it's just, this is not going to work. You're going to see diminishing returns. And they're doing it with everything.
It would be like trying to turn King Arthur into a franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lore. It's a story. It's fixed. It's not something that you bend into whatever you want it to be. Yeah.
Well, what if King Arthur was a woman? What if King Arthur was black? What if King Arthur took place in the 21st century?
Well, they've already done stuff like that, like with Anne Boleyn. How they and other things too. Stupid.
Yep, I know.
It's dumb.
Okay. All right. Well, I understand that we have to kind of play both Al and Sin out of here. So, ladies first, Sin. I know you don't like being blown up, and I'm doing it anyway. What do you have?
Every time.
What do you have coming up?
Okay, so this week I'm going to hopefully get a review out for Strange Darling, and which I saw tonight, and also Terminator Zero, which I can't release until August 29th, Judgment Day. So yeah, that's what I've got coming up. Yep, you can make me small again.
Okay.
You know you can make me.
When does has Judgment Day already dropped on Netflix?
Terminator Zero, you
Zero? Has Zero already
No,
dropped?
it doesn't drop until August 29th, and that's when the review embargo lifts.
Cool.
I'm going to be at Dragon Con next weekend, and so I knew I wouldn't have time to watch it and review it if, like while I'm there. So they let me have access to a screener, and I blew through that thing, of course, because it's Terminator related.
Yes. Looking forward to your review on it, for sure.
Same here.
Okay.
All right. And Al, what do you have coming up?
Well, on Friday, this coming Friday, we'll be watching the Wushu film.
Would you little lamb?
The martial arts film Hero, starring Jet Li, and joining me will be some guy I think you guys might know, named Deleted Scenes.
I heard of that guy.
Yeah, we're gonna be watching that. So it's a real fun film, and I'm going to be hopefully doing a review of season 4 of Evil, which just finished up. And I watched a film tonight called Boot Camp, which was like some teen adult coming of age thing, which I kind of liked. So we'll see how I may do a review on that. I'm not quite sure yet. So that's what I got coming up, and of course the Saturday night films coming up in September is basically Halloween, as far as I'm concerned now. Halloween, September 1st is Halloween, so gonna be doing some nice. The first one's going to be Little Shop of Horrors.
There you go.
Yeah, coming up in 2 weeks from last night.
Now the original you're talking about?
No, the musical.
The musical? Awesome.
Yeah, Rick Moranis.
Both are good. Both are fantastic. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then and then 2 weeks after that, it's going to be The Wraith with Charlie Sheen, which is a fun one that I enjoy.
Yeah,
I saw that one. I just don't remember it at all.
Yeah, it's got what's
Sherilyn Fenn.
Sherilyn Fenn is in it, and
that's why I saw it. Okay,
that's one of those ones that's a remake of the Japanese horror films, right?
I don't know. This is one about a car.
The Ring?
The Wraith.
The Wraith.
The Wraith.
Oh, the Wraith. Oh,
yeah.
No. Okay.
It's
I
about,
heard that wrong. I heard
it's about a guy who comes back from the dead.
Yeah. That is awesome.
It's got Clint Howard, my close and personal friend, Clint
It's kind of like you take The Crow and smash it together with Christine, and you've got a pretty cool movie.
A little bit. Yeah. I never thought of it that way, but you're right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he's got to have the vehicle, right? Yeah, he's got to have the car. Got to have the car.
Yep. But thank you for having me. I'm like I said, I got a little nap earlier tonight, which is why I missed Geeky Geezers.
Fair enough. You got to make your choices. You got to make.
Well, my body made my choice. And, it goes to sleep when it wants to.
Understood.
So take care, everyone. Thanks again for having me, and have a great week, guys.
Indeed.
Take it easy,
Thanks.
buddy.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Take care.
You guys
Take care,
too.
guys.
Bye.
Good night. And
nice.
then there were 5. All right. I'm sorry. Bill, I muted you because there was some kind of noise in the background that, quite frankly, was beginning to annoy the hell out of me. And I was going to kick you off the show. And then I decided I can't because.
Are you sure it was? Are you sure it was me? Because I turned down my.
I muted everybody one at a time. So, yeah, including myself. So, yeah. All right. No big deal. No big deal. It's fine. We're good to go now.
Weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, I had one more thing that I ripped off from Geeky Geezers. That was of that actually kind of was of interest.
Geeky Geezers. I'm gonna have to check this out. Does the show you guys are on?
Yes.
Yeah.
So every Sunday night over on Aged Boomer's channel, I co-host with him. Geeky Geezers starts at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, and that's right after Unscripted.
This right here is the original. Is Foxy's favorite Stallone movie. She loves Cliffhanger, man. She loves that movie. And I heard that he was doing this, and very, very interesting. Hey, Stallone's been doing good stuff. You know, he's kind of like Tom Cruise. You know, a little bit flaky, but you know what, dude, he knows how to make a movie, right? So hey, who knows what we're gonna get out of this stuff? As long as he doesn't take his shirt off again like he did in Balboa, I'll be okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, as long as he doesn't get in the ring again or take his shirt off. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, where are we on the sequel here, guys? Are we up for this? The one thing that, and we're still getting that hum, Bill. I don't know where that's from. Anyway, there we go. Now, the thing that
I ain't seeing it, but I didn't think it was that loud that you can hear it.
Yeah,
I can hear it.
Hear it pretty good, Bill.
Sorry.
We can hear it pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
You can still barely hear it.
Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the director here on the sequel is Jean-Francois Richet, and he directed the remake of Precinct 13 with Lawrence Fishburne and Ethan Hawke. He did Plane with Gerard Butler, Bloodfather with Mel Gibson. So this is a guy who knows how to do action. So that's a step in the right direction. Now, my understanding of the plot, there is a brief synopsis. I'm going to go ahead and read that off real quick. Gabe is now living in the Dolomites, where he runs an exclusive mountain lodge. When he and a high-profile client are taken hostage during an adventurous weekend trip, his daughter has to use all her climbing skills to outwit the kidnappers, triggering a battle of life and death. Now, here is what the difference between Cliffhanger 2 and Orvdor Hiram to me is, God bless him, but Sly's getting up there in years. He's 78 now.
78 years old.
He's in great shape for 78. The man's going to outlive me probably, but
yeah.
I don't necessarily want him doing all of the action anymore.
Right.
Well,
You know,
he probably won't. He's probably going to have stuntmen doing it. I mean, the beautiful thing about movies is we'll probably see some good stunts out of this. If you remember the first one, it was a stunt spectacular. It was really, really
absolutely
good.
Yeah.
So, I every time I don't see one of his movies or one of Tom Cruise's movies in the theater, I end up regretting it when I watch it on television.
Yeah.
Okay. I end up regretting it. I have blown it on a couple of Cruise's movies and a couple of his movies. So, I'll be going to see this. So,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And hello to Boosh McFadden. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, Boosh.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, and even in the first movie, you still had Michael Rooker in there doing some of the action. You still had, I mean, in that movie, face it, half the bad guys kill themselves.
Yeah, they do.
Honestly.
Themselves up. Not understanding the environment they're in.
Yeah. And And that one FBI agent who just goes off like a mad dog and shoots the fucking plane down, you know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, yeah, I mean, Sly didn't have to do everything in the first movie, really, to be honest. But yeah, I'm curious to see where this goes. And I would be curious to see who they get to cast as the daughter. And like Sashi brings up in the chat during Geeky Geezers, where Jean-Claude Van Damme's daughter got brought up as being a possibility.
Really?
For that part. And, you know, yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of clips of her and other things. I could totally see her playing an action part like this. So I'm actually starting to get a little encouraged by this.
Right.
So I'm glad to. This is going to be on my most anticipated for either 25 or 26 or whenever they're able to release this thing. Man.
Right, whenever it comes out.
I'm
looking at the IMDb page, and it's got the French director's name on it. It's got the writer. It's Michael Bianculi or something like that. And no cast is shown.
Yeah,
so they're keeping that under wraps. It looks like. So yep, that's what they've got so far on IMDb anyway.
I'm curious to see who they fill in with these other roles. Will Michael Rooker come back, even if it's just for a cameo? Is Janine Turner going to be in this? This is a movie I'm actually hyped for. Yeah, and I'm hyped for so few movies these days.
I hear you,
and for good reason. For good reason on this one, because like I said, you say what you want about Sly, he's making good stuff. A lot of people are looking forward to that. Has the second season of Tulsa King come out yet? I know it's supposed to
be out in September.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people are fans of his. My brother is a huge fan. Anybody that's in the Expendable movies, my brother catalogs those guys that are in those movies. His favorite person. Look, if you ask my brother, Dolph Lundgren is the greatest action hero that's ever been on screen. Okay, and he's got all his movies, every one of them, no matter how bad they are, he's got them.
That He-Man movie that he did was pretty bad.
But yeah, you should be hyped for this one, man. I mean, the guy makes good stuff. Yeah, he's getting up there in age, but look, you know, Clint Eastwood is in his 90s, and he's still working on movies. He's working on one right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
God bless him. If you can do it, go for it.
Right?
Yep.
Indeed.
Every time my brother and I get together on Sunday evenings at 5, and we do this thing called The Brothers Hack the Matrix, and we just talk about today's headlines, right? And we cover sports and the major headlines and also Hollywood. And every time, like today, we talked about Phil Donahue passing away,
right?
His place in daytime television, and we always finish it up with, "Yeah, he died at 88, and Clint Eastwood continues to work and continues to live on." You know, I mean, it's amazing. The guy's in his 90s and still doing it. It's crazy. So yeah, you should be hyped for this. Sly can do it. And if he can't do it, he'll hire the best person that looks as close to possible as him physically to do it. So there you go. And with today's technology, they can make it look just like him too.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, they got that. They got that Charles Bronson lookalike making movies. You know, why not a Sly lookalike? I guess I don't know.
Right.
All right. Well. That's all for all I wanted to talk about. Does anybody have any stories, anything that kind of struck their fancy, or anything else that you're looking forward to that you'd like to put out there? Anything you've seen recently that you like that you think went under the radar?
Under the radar. I mean, we just had GeekCon here in Shreveport. We have it every August. It's the Comic-Con in my area. We had it at the Shreveport Convention Center. It went off pretty good. The stars we got stuff from. If you want me to go get it real quick, I'll go get it and show it to you if you want to see it.
Sure.
Okay, I'll be right back. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to bring up the movie The Dead Don't Hurt that Bill and I saw last week for Western Cinema Presents. That is an excellent film too. Didn't get a lot of play in theaters. Very limited release. Kind of a romantic character drama, but it does have some of that old school Western action to it too. That I thought it was a nice melding of the two. That movie is, I think, well worth seeing, and I don't think it's one that a lot of people know about. So check that out. The Dead Don't Hurt. All right. Somebody tell a joke. Two YouTubers walk into a bar. No. Don't make me sing.
Ah!
That would be the end of all human life forms.
If someone's going to sing on your stream, it has to be you. It has to be you.
All right.
Okay.
I am back.
We're back. All right.
What did I miss? I don't want to miss the good stuff. Did I miss any good stuff?
No, you didn't miss anything.
There was no good stuff while you were gone.
Come on, man. You guys are awesome. Of course it was good stuff. All right. So.
Okay. I will end big so everybody can see.
All right. If you guys are wondering, I'm at my bar. I'm having a Corona or two, enjoying myself here on a Sunday night. I don't go back to work till Tuesday, so I can do that. But the big draw this year was, now the guy that was number one on the list of the stars was Billy Zane this year. Okay. And this is the signed Titanic picture my wife got. I call my wife Foxy. Anytime you see me say Foxy, that's who I'm talking about. This guy right here, I don't know if he was trying to channel this gentleman right here, but he acted like he was not having too much fun that weekend. I don't know what the deal was, but it actually, my wife she told me, she said, I almost asked for my money back. But anyway, you see he wrote on it, make your own luck, which is what the character says in the movie, right? So he was there. And she got a selfie with him too. The one she really went to see, and my wife has an entire wall. I have my military wall. This is my family that's been in the military. And that's actually me and her son up top right there. But she's got a Walking Dead wall. And every time there's a Walking Dead person, she has a picture with them, right? I'm trying to get the ring light off of it. That, of course, is David Morris, the guy that plays the governor, right? Mm. And he's British. I did not know that. Apparently, he's played Doctor Who before, apparently. Like in one episode or something. He was kind of a one-off Doctor Who or something. But
I remember that episode.
Yeah, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a Doctor Who fan, so I don't know, but it was on his banner with all the names on it and stuff. But this, you guys are going to kick out of this. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, check out what he did with the picture here. Of course, he signs it to Rhonda. Over here on this part, it says David M., the governor, But if you look right here, look what he did to Herschel's neck.
Yeah.
Here.
When he did that, I said, "This is why we hate this guy right here." Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
But,
sadly, that actor's no longer with us either, too.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Actually, I was showing this stuff off last night on the Roadhouse, and that 70s rock fan said that he actually got to meet him.
Nice.
Yeah, what a treat. He must have been a great guy. But anyway, here I bought this for my brother. He's a big Kiss fan. So this guy was signing his Kiss zombie works. And so I got him that. I was actually working at this thing. Anybody that knows me, you guys may not know this, but I work in the rehab industry. I'm a resident manager at a gambling rehab over in Shreveport. And I was working a booth for Louisiana Association on Compulsive Gambling. Okay. And the booth across from me was this publishing house that puts out anthologies, and I immediately thought of Razor Fist when I saw this. It's a collection of pulp, Western, and magic kind of things. It's called Weird West. So I went ahead and picked it up. I try and support the booths that are close to me at these things. My wife and I do a lot of these vendor markets. I bought a book for myself. I am a Spider-Man fan, and this is my favorite artist that's ever done him. His name is Ross Andrew. And this one I bought because Nova is in the issue. And Nova is a character. You've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what the Nova Corps is. There's actually a character from there called Nova. And in the comic books, Nick is a big fan. I wish he was here for me to show him this stuff, but I know he'd freak out if he saw this. But anyway, that's why I bought this one, because I'm trying to collect all of Ross Andrews' work. That's the artist that did this. And it's got Nova on it, so that's why I got that one. And
I have that. I have that one.
Do you?
Yeah,
do you have
I
that
got
one?
it in the stash.
Yeah, cool. And then I've got this 11 by 17 that I'm going to try and get signatures on in the future. It is the Secret Wars cover. From the next Avengers movie is called Secret Wars, I think, or it might be Doomsday is the first one, and then they're going to do Secret Wars. I can't remember the order they're going to do it in, but Secret Wars is one of them. But the reason why I bought this is that's me and my brother right next to each other. My brother is the Hulk, and I am Spider-Man. So yeah, that's why I went ahead and got it, because they're prominently featured on it and everything. So yeah, that was my haul from GeekCon, boys and girls. That's what I've been doing. That was last weekend, and that matter of fact, that's why I wasn't on your show last week, Deleted. I was kind of wiped out from being at. I worked 4 hours on Sunday at the con, so I was a little bit tired. Us old folks, we have to have a nap every once in a while.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, that was my haul. Oh, wait! I forgot one thing. That was the signatures. All that was my wife's stuff, right? The one that I wanted, the only guy I really wanted to see was this dude. You might know who he is. I got him from Resident Evil because I didn't.
Oh,
this is the only
cool.
franchise that I really am into that he had on the table. But if you're a fan of, I think it's Stargate. He's on the series of Stargate. This is Kevin Durand. And I was actually looking for. He's been in so much stuff, guys. If you look him up on IMDb, he's been in a ton of shit. But the reason, if you look at the signature he gave me, it says, "Joe, all the goodness to you and yours, Kevin Durand, number 4." Right there, right? It says number 4 because I really wanted a picture of him as the alien in I Am Number 4. It's one of my favorite movies. I love that flick. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. They were going to do an entire series of them, but the first one bombed at the box office, and they decided not to go forward with it. But it's based on one of these things like it's not Harry Potter, but like the Hunger Games and what's it called? Insurrection or something like that. There's Insurgents or something like that. There's an entire series. It's these
it's a book
teenage
series,
science fiction things. Anyway, they didn't go forward with it, but I loved him in that movie, and that's why he put number 4 on the signature. But Kevin Durand's been a bunch of stuff. If you look him up, I think that the other one I was thinking about getting with him on it was from Legion. If you've seen that one with Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Where they're in that diner and it's a holy war and the two angels end up fighting each other. I think he's either Michael or Gabriel, but he's a badass and he's got this mace, with the big wings and everything, and he's coming after Paul Bettany. So, yeah, love Kevin Durand. That was the one signature I got. So, there you go.
Nice.
Some geekery right here on Deleted Scenes. There you go.
Nice. And hello to John Doe Juggalo. I've seen you on Nickweiser's chats. Good to see you, sir. All right. So, it's about that time when we kind of start wrapping things up here. So I'm going to go around the horn and start with Troy. What do you have coming up?
Well, I would say tomorrow night, one sleep from now. Really, it's later tonight. Monday night at the movies. Last call's Monday night at the movies. Doing a double feature tomorrow night. End of summer. I consider the last week of August to be the end of summer. So I'm doing double feature Corvette Summer and American Graffiti. So
Corvette
that is
Summer. Is Mark Hamill in that?
Mark Hamill is in Corvette Summer.
Yep.
Harrison Ford is in American Graffiti.
American Graffiti, yep. He sure is. Mm-hmm.
So that will be Monday night, which is later tonight. 8 Central, 9 Eastern. That's Monday night at the movies. And this Friday night, my regular last call. Getting a little political this week. I figure I'm going to drink and talk about some current events, some crazy things that have happened in the past couple weeks, and what we can look forward to leading up to early November. So that'll be last call this week, 9 Central, Friday night.
How long do you go on that one, Troy?
2 hours, but sometimes I dribble a little bit over.
Okay, because I'll have to check it out. I usually tune into Janet from Another Planet around that time. She's wrapping up her shit show. But I'll have to check you out. I didn't know you were on at that time because I get up to the resident manager's room about 10. That's when I bet them down, and that's when I hit YouTube. So I'll have to check you out. Yep,
fair enough. You hit that notification bell, and you'll know when I go live.
Got it.
Awesome.
Connie, what's coming up for Fluff Chick Productions?
I got 2 more videos they're going to be working on this week for my little projects that I'm going to be doing. Also, I got Wednesday night, comedy night. I'm going to be doing a Chaplin movie. And Friday night, I'm not exactly sure what silent movie I'm going to be doing Friday. And that's it for me right now.
Yeah.
Just action theater with Goldfinger on Thursday. I probably won't have a whole lot to say, being out of from the doctor.
Well, I'll be there and I'll do my best to keep the show going just in case. All right. Yes, Goldfinger.
Goldfinger, classic.
Yeah.
Classic Bond. Yes.
All right. That does bring it on around to myself. Let's see. Tuesday, Troy, Netter, and Boomer will be joining me for Live from Sparkwood 21. We will be watching episode 9 of The Return. Twin Peaks Return, of course. And you'll get to watch along with us on Cosme or with your own physical copy, should you have one. Let's see. Thursday, as we said, I'll be joining Bill for Action Theater. Thursday at 4:30. Goldfinger will be the movie. Sean Connery as 007. And of course, Friday, I will be joining Big Al for Films with Friends, and we are going to be watching the Oscar-nominated Jet Li martial arts classic Hero from 2002. That will be Friday night at 8 p.m. Let's see, Saturday night, hopefully I will be able to join Bill for after hours karaoke should this show go on this week. And let's see, of course, Sunday is the big day. Western Cinema Presents at 4 p.m. Unscripted at 8, and The Other Side of Midnight at 12:05. All right.
Very cool. Can I put a shout out about something, buddy?
Sure.
Of course, anybody can go to my channel, and it's my week is always lined out under the upcoming streams. It's always lined up. If you don't know my rotation by now, just go to that page and it'll tell you. But we are kicking off my probably the only addiction I have, the NFL. Pre-game party. It's my alternative. If you're tired of listening to these guys on TV and want to hear what fans have to say about the games that are coming up, come check us out at 10 a.m. We give you an alternative at 10 a.m. Central Time on my channel called Pre-Game Party. Me and 4 other football fans get together and talk football. And we're starting it with a wrap-up of the preseason on September 1st, next Sunday. So start checking that out at 10 a.m. Central Time on Sunday's Pre-Game Party on my channel. Thanks a lot. And thanks for having me, brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for coming on and taking the time out. All
Always.
right. I would like to thank everyone who joined us on Twitter and Rumble. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. And of course, everyone who joined in on the live chat. I did this show on a lark, not knowing if it was going to work out or not. And here we are, episode 65, and still going strong. And I want to thank everyone who shows up every week in the chat, everyone who agrees to come onto the panel. I do appreciate that. And I hope you'll be with me for 65 more, because I'm not going anywhere. So, guys, any last words before we close it out?
Keep on keeping on, folks. We're going to make it.
I want to thank everyone so much. I kind of came on the stream as a lark, and I was surprised by how many people come and check me out over on my side of this. It's like, what are you guys doing up so late? But I'm so glad you're all here. And I know I'm speaking for everyone on the panel right now. All of you that come out and encourage us and hit that thumbs up and share and do all the things, you just keep encouraging us. So you give us those little dopamine hits, and we want to keep coming back. So thanks so much.
And Anjo,
Boosh is the best,
Chuckalo,
man.
thanks. Good night. Send subs all around, and don't forget to sub to. Well, I think you're already subbed to Nick. So, of course, don't forget Sin and Big Al Presents, who are with us earlier as well. So, all right. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do?
Rock on, folks. Rock on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, put on that Skinamax music.
I need to get a porn stash for that, don't
I? Oh yeah. I would like to thank Last Call, Troy Pacelli, Connie Cleary, Joe's Atmosfere, Outlaw Bill, Sin's Corner, Big Al Presents, and first-time guest 32 Flavors of Nickweiser for joining us tonight. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to everyone who's joining us on other platforms. Thank you to Bill's cat, if his cat is in the room.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
Over there. A little pussy. Little pussy cat.
All right. And with that, from HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night, take care, stay strong, be safe, because this is how we win. You know, I should know by now the difference between the button that goes to full screen and the button that removes people from the stream. But I do have to boomer these things every once in a while just to let everyone know that it's really me.